Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the main card of UFC 175 right now, the July 4th card. It's a stacked card, and I think I'm seeing some bets I'm liking on 4 of these 5 main card fights. We'll see if our guests agree with me. First, our guest is Nick Kalikas, returning guest. He is an MMA odds maker, and he's a consultant for numerous sports books. His site is MMAoddsbreaker.com, and also joining us over the phone is Adam Martin, an MMA analyst, also from MMAoddsbreaker.com. All right, guys, I'll start with Lyoto Machida and Chris Weidman, and we'll start with you, Nick, because we analyzed this fight a bunch of weeks ago, and we thought at the time it was Weidman minus 240, Machida plus 200, and we agreed that line was too high and that Machida was a good bet there. Now at 5 dimes, it's down to Machida plus 170, Weidman minus 200. That's not a surprise to me at all. So I'm assuming that you're getting a lot of action, seeing a lot of action coming in on Machida.
Yeah, it's been back and forth, like you said, just a little while back. I mean, it was a much steeper line for Weidman, and now Machida has been getting some support. So overall, I think the books out there that have carried the line for a while are probably pretty balanced at this point, which isn't a bad spot. But we definitely want to make some cash on this fight. The books do as well. Right. So there will be a decision, no doubt.
I'm assuming that the handle is huge, though. The betting action is huge.
Oh, yeah, and it will be gigantic. Yeah. I mean, both these guys, Machida's name carries a ton of value. And now that Weidman beat the man, he beat Anderson Silva, his name only skyrocketed that much more. So both these guys are very marketable fighters. Both these guys are very popular fighters at the betting window and amongst the hardcore fans. So, yes.
Adam Martin, I thought that Machida had some value at plus 200. Now he's plus 170. I'll tell you, I think he still has some value. What do you think, Adam Martin?
It's a really tough fight to call. I really think this is one of the best fights of the year.
Sure.
In the UFC for sure. Like, I've been looking forward to this one for a while, Peter. Almost happy if Vitor Belfort's not going to fight Weidman, because I think Machida's just a really tricky matchup for Weidman. I would have definitely picked Weidman against Belfort for sure, but this fight's really tricky to call. Machida, obviously, incredible striker. He also has amazing wrestling. He's looked just so good at 185. So that's the thing that really scares me off of Weidman here. But at the same time, Machida is getting up there in age. I think he's 36 now. He's a bit older. And we know that, he has lost some decisions and questionable decisions for sure, but the judges don't seem to particularly like his style sometimes. It's very strange. It's a very strange style, but at the same time, it's a hard style to fight. So Weidman's going to have his hands full. I'm going to lean towards Weidman here, though, a little bit slightly. Yeah, I am. I'm going to lean towards him slightly. It's a tough one, though. It can go either way. I think as far as a bet goes, there's more value on Machida. I wouldn't bet on Weidman here, but I'm picking him to win the fight. I think he's 30 years old. He's so dangerous in every area of the game. He's great at wrestling. He's great at jiu-jitsu. He's great at striking. He's a really good striker. He's got a lot of knockout power. Beat Anderson twice. Beat him by TKO twice. He's really good, man. But I like a bet here, though, Peter. I do like one bet. Under 4.5 at minus 130. Yeah, I don't think this fight's going 5 rounds. I think Weidman, if it does go in the 4th or 5th round, he's going to get tired, and he's never been in those rounds before. He's never been that far in his career, so I think Machida can knock him out later in the fight. I know people probably think Machida would win a decision, but I think he would actually win by knockout. I like under 4.5. That's my bet here. Under 4.5 rounds, minus 130. It's close to a pick'em price. Right. And I think the finisher. So that's my bet, and I'm picking Weidman by knockout. That's my pick.
All right. Awesome. Interesting. Yeah, because I would agree with you that Weidman should be the favorite here. The question is, at minus 200 and Machida at plus 170, they're giving Weidman about a 63% chance of winning, and it just strikes me as just a little bit high, considering how talented Machida is. Nick Kalikas, have you gotten a lot of action on the total in this fight?
Yeah, it's been going back and forth a little bit as well, but I agree with Adam. I think that overall in this fight, I don't really see it hitting the scorecards. I know a lot of people might disagree on there, but both these guys have enough skill on the feet that if it does go into deep waters in round 4 or 5, there's a lot of question marks. I think I know Machida could make it there, but with Weidman's knockout power and ability to end the fight early, that's always a possibility. And then, like Adam said, I think in round 4 or 5, actually, if it does get to that point, I think Machida will have an edge there because Weidman tends to gas a little bit. His wrestling beyond round 1 isn't that good. Let's face it, that's the bottom line with him. I think that there's still a lot of question marks. Look, this guy won me a ton of money against Anderson Silva. I like Weidman a lot. I think he's a very skilled fighter. But to be honest with you, he's still raw in some areas. He needs to be tested in cardio. Right. That's for sure. And if you look at it, like I just said a second ago, once he goes in the 2nd round, 3rd round, his takedowns aren't as effective. And I think Machida's takedown defense is sufficient enough that he's probably going to be able to maintain it standing on the feet. And if he doesn't get caught, he has more ways to win the fight. I think he can win by decision if it hits the cards, because I think he can steal 3 out of 5 rounds. Honestly, if it does go that way, even though I'm not suspecting it doesn't, or he can knock him out late as well. So I think Weidman's best shot to win this fight is honestly knocking him out.
All right, so then, Nick, it sounds like you're still leaning towards Machida as the side with value at plus 170.
Yeah, I mean, based on pure betting value, no doubt about it. Like I said, there's just too many question marks still surrounding Weidman. I don't think he can go 5 strong rounds. I mean, if he can, he's going to win this fight, no doubt about it, I think. But there's just that he hasn't proven to me that he can. I mean, every fight, now most of them were taken on short notice, so you can't really consider that too much. But at the same time, he's facing, I mean, the best competition he's ever faced besides Anderson Silva right now in his career. So there's a lot of question marks out there. So with the question marks, you got to go with plus money. I mean, Machida has proven himself. He has proved to all of us that he can go 5 rounds with amazing competition, and those decisions that he has lost in the past have been to wrestlers, but those are guys that were pushing a pace and even in the late rounds and made it a little bit controversial and close, even though they should have probably went to Machida as well. So I really think it's kind of Machida's fight to win or lose here. If he doesn't get caught, he should win the fight.
All right, Adam Martin, what do you think of that? Are the question marks surrounding Chris Weidman enough to put you off of him at minus 200, or do you think that there aren't as many question marks as Nick thinks there are?
Yeah, no, I agree with Nick. I mean, I think it's dog or pass. I'm just picking Weidman. I think that he's a slight lean here. I just can't bet on Machida at plus 170. When he was at one time, he was plus 260. He was plus 260 at one point. At that point, yes, I would have bet on him. But right now, I'm gonna wait. You know what? If he goes to plus 200 on fight day, I can't blame anyone who's gonna bet on Machida because I think that he has a good chance of winning this fight. But like I said, I actually think the best bet here is under 4.5 because either guy gets a finish, you're going to win your bet, and I think there's a very good chance of a finish from both guys. So both guys are very dangerous fighters.
I'll tell you what, Adam Martin, I love it. You've convinced me for sure. I think that might be the better way to go than either side. Under 4.5 is currently minus 130 at 5 dimes. Great preview, great analysis. As always, guys, thanks so much.